Vice Chancellor, thank you very much. All my friends, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I engineered this function, and the reason was that Jamia did not give me a farewell. So I thought that I should have a reason to come back. And more than that, I needed to thank people because of whom I had a wonderful 4 years of life and working experience. So I must start by naming people, and I may forget some names, but I must thank these people in public. And the first people that I need to thank is the Vice Chancellor's office. In 41 years of working experience, I don't think that I have worked with people of such affection and such integrity. You could work with blindfolds, you didn't have to think. There was complete trust, and not a whisper of what we did would go out. So I have to thank Zafar Nawaz here, Maulana Shujat, who keeps impeccable accounts and would worry me. Whenever I saw him, it would be that he would come to take some money from me. I don't know where he is. I have to thank Najeeb for 4 years of exercising his limbs to make sure that we are very, very comfortable whenever we left India or went to university. Parvez, who taught me new dimensions of English. And, so whenever my children came back from America, they said that I had learned some new English. And that's thanks to Parvez and all the weekends he spent with me writing these pieces. I have to thank Mr. Shoaib, who did not utter a word in 4 years that I was in that office. So that is something. I have to thank Fazal for being a terrific man at the telephone. Raju and Parvez, my driver, who kept the most unreasonable hours. I think coming back often later at midnight. I think many times without dinner or lunch, and I think that we owe a great deal of gratitude to him, both I and my wife. Mr. Saini, the great Mr. Saini. I mean, he is one of the noblest souls that I've seen. Of course, his speciality is he can never do anything right. But a great man. Nasir and Imam, a young boy, who he shows that what young boys can do if they want, if they have the will to train themselves very well. There was a core team in this university without which we couldn't have functioned. So I have to really thank Sajid, Shahid, and Rashid Saab, who's not here, I think for that reasons. I got uncomplicated and straightforward objective advice on many things which were unpalatable, often unpalatable in this university. And the good thing about this team was that despite the fact that they would be with university teachers for next 10 years, 12 years, 15 years of their careers, they left behind complete subjectivity. And so we were, to the extent possible, completely dispassionate in what we did. I have to thank my colleagues in the gym who have supported me in 4 years, and I think I'm leaving Jamia in better shape than I came. So there is young Adil and Mono who have kept my limbs in good shape. And I must express a tremendous admiration for Noor Muhammad. I don't think that there are many people who head the department who care about every shred of grass on that ground. So you can often see him, picking leaves or shedding grass with his own hands or watering the plants. It is amazing grace and pain with which he maintains that stadium, and we should all be grateful to him for that. There are colleagues here who went beyond the call of duty. So I'm naming only those people, I think, who took a step beyond what their job functions required. So I have to thank Professor Khalid Boin and Zafar Alam Saab, because they never sort of had a doubt in their minds when impossible tasks were put to them. Completion of buildings, works, the amazing display of discipline and hard work when Mrs. Gandhi came to Jamia. I think we owe a great deal to them. I think amongst teachers who again went beyond the call of duty, there was Ragini, who I think did a great deal for the faculty of dentistry, who were here. Mukul Kesavan, whom I depended on for many things when I needed information. Ejaz, who had nothing to do with physiotherapy and actually has created a department out of nothing, because it was a dark hole 4 years ago, and now I think we are all proud of that physiotherapy department. See, this is just not the resources you give, but what he did in creating a sense of purpose and the dedication with which that entire thing has been put up. I have to thank Nisar. Whenever we asked you and Ajay Behra, who developed a unique Pakistan Studies program, I think the best in India and I think one of the best in the world. So, and of course, last but not least, Simi, who has now become an absolute professional at the press, and I think you have a new vocation for you, for yourself, should you choose to leave teaching. This book would never have been possible. I really don't think that this book requires a release, because this is just a compilation of articles. So it was only Professor Akhtarul Wasai who persuaded me that we should release this book. It should come out in the shape of a book. And interestingly, in his introduction, he reveals details of my family which I myself did not know. So it has awakened a unique interest in me of my own family. And I think I have to go back to you, sir, and learn a bit more. And finally, my own teacher and a man of very unique ability and qualifications, Professor Khalid. I think I'm privileged that he accepted to release this book. 3.5 years we spent every day doing things, unveiling the mysteries of a great poet. And it's not, he perhaps himself did not understand the difficulty of the task which he was taking up, because he found a student who wanted to study Ghalib without knowing the ABC of Urdu language. So to start reading Ghalib without knowing the rudiments of Urdu was almost an impossible task. But I found him, I mean, he has created a miracle, and I would think that it was impossible. But more than the miracle was what I learned from him as a very wonderful human being of many, many hidden qualities himself. So one learns in life, one learns from many gurus. I think I've had 2 or 3, they have not been my teachers, but they have been human beings with whom I have had some association. There was a young gentleman called Mahatmanand, I was a young man in Raipur, and I spent 2 years learning yoga from him, and talking for 2 years on the mysteries of creation and the mysteries of Kundalini and the human body. There was another Swami called Atmanand, who was a mathematician, a gentleman who qualified for the ICS in 1944 and chose to be a Swami, with whom I spent many, many years and hours discussing again the hidden mysteries of life around us. So these were ustads, and in the same vein, I think, without speaking or discussing these things, I learned a lot from Professor Mahmood in his deep admiration for the Prophet and his love of God, which comes through like a beam to others who are associated with him. So I was very, very lucky to have learned at the feet of a great master. Coming to Jamia, because I don't think that I will have occasions like this to have a captive audience again. I really believe that this is a great place, but there is something which keeps us away from the front lines of being accepted as a leading academic institution. And so we must within ourselves seek the reasons why we are not in the absolute front ranks of universities in this country. And the reason has to lie within us. I always thought that, we own this university, and therefore we should put our heart and soul in it. But despite that, if things are missing, then what needs to be plugged in? And one thing that comes to my mind, if at this stage I can pass on any advice, because now I'm an outsider, is that a lot of us are not doing things which go beyond the call of duty. I think teaching cannot be a means of a livelihood. Teaching cannot be just a means to understanding. If we are prepared to go beyond the earning of the salary check at the end of the month, then you can create a revolution, because now the infrastructure is in place. You have the qualifications. The quality of teachers, the quality of students is obviously improving. We've done great things in the sense that, you've done away with interviews. The children who come in are completely on merit. It is an exam. The admission here is more meritorious than Delhi University or JNU, where teachers have a say and so on and so forth. Here, you have to get your numbers and you're in. So given that, and given the remarkable responsibility that this university, along with, let us say, Aligarh have in imparting education to a community that needs a great level of handholding. Because you have no idea, or at least I think not enough idea, of the level of responsibility that the teachers in this university will have. You are changing lives. And if students go out and they are not amongst the best of the best, then we do a disservice to a community that needs your help and sustenance in changing lives. I see young girls sitting there, and they are an inspiration. I'm so happy to see, Muslim girls come out and those backgrounds and struggle for 3 years and 5 years in this university to get an education. And then for us not to engage their parents that don't marry them off. Let them work. That they have a right in this world to be equal to men folk. Is that the message that we give our girls? I don't think so. I think that they are still going away and getting married within a year or two. And then, they are lost bearing children. So, my only wish at this notion, if all of us would accept the fact that we are now willing to travel that extra mile that is beyond the call of our duty, just beyond the call of our classroom. Can we step beyond the realm of the class into the soul and mind of the student and bring out a product that India can be proud of? Just not this area that we are in, but produce students that this country can be proud of. I am very grateful to you for the time this afternoon, and I hope we'll keep meeting. I believe we have progressed. I think we should be able to get your master plan through. I also believe that this land next to you, this 30 acres or whatever, should come by in the next 5 months, 6 months. Jamia can prosper and do better and better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would just like to narrate that last week I and my colleague had gone to the SG office for for the master plan that you just mentioned.